yaw obi menu element chain ani KanKam esusu element chain a wo trotro enoma bi menim se no mana wo trotro no ono ankasa na nimpo o de be hu ade na wo trotro no but MC obetime hu akenkan yaw na de ya is also obi bag me I say sika bi so na pay mama
na o try there fa ho ben
o sa adni panete o try there o se me hu de wo trotro
fa ho ben
we na krofo we na mo ko exam mo copy no o ba copy sa copy
o consent ma akwa na ndu no o consent
copy in this number
ya na say
am na daroma
ma fi o
yo ho
ma fi o papa
papa J late o say anuma ntu a
o ju afa ko
and I say so sabi utu e so di nyansa to for because utu be sorry I say
ji na so ga o na wo hu ni ade
na say eja castro but you want to crop for more representing image and
we dey sika fumu
na say now share button
yeah sika fumu
papa texture no
nka na mo say
ofri ne MP ne adutwi mu ne fa adutwi mu constituency
na yoko brebo so pa ne afenyo mafi
ene dambotwe na
Samudio
godfather ne your friend say the chief commander the boo
okwanyido founder CEO
Esmas rule
ade baya ngrofos on be contest no omo se de omo promise omo de running mate omo afa ma omo no omo tikot na omo constituency omo ye campaign
but it's serious
anyway I dey exam pay
oh what dey ache na me ye bon pa say I will say you are under the weather but maybe unya sika I mean it's all about poverty.
Na devas na ka, se me tia minister na se de.
Unya sika maza o be sa hu yare ajai.
And
na just the poverty level high.
Oh, if I don't mind you. Yes, Savage.
I dey go po. Hey, we hu me fere o.
Na hwana na say na de.
Yo, we hu me fere.
I say hu na fere.
Yo, we hu me fere.
I say ye gi time and sana about office.
Yes, mo be bre papa.
Oh no how.
Mo be bre papa.
Sir, reception on say ya obi menu ba, David Tameklo ba, Awudu Mahama ba. Now see him train.
O me buget no.
Hey, what are you talking about? Is the office yours? Be a busy.
Yo,
take it easy.
You just had to pay. Andy, initial comments, issues are on table, ya person can was man pay.
Some that say, I'm saying a bit here at T4. Ne do na mo me aminua yaw machiano. Na de bia betra adistradia ba ko na ya me the two guys say we don't know it all. Eba abe tre ya adwe. Se bia Ghana betumpon. I mean, our quest to also shed light on the issues, no, and bet me off a banisa on franchise. The callers and viewers, so I mean, when they are contributing, because I am a human and we are liable to error in ourselves, no, they should just be decorous, decent in their comments. I'm the beba, sebeya, need new bema. Each other. So before I move no, and me uncle be pa and then you Sunday say ye kushia ho. Prince Bonsu. Maybe I will be a Michao. Michael Buama. Michao pa. Sammy, initial comment. And because it's about the economy, debt restructuring. So, as usual, media for the you will just be tuning some open news, then they call. Then it came to light. The Director General of the State Enterprise and Governance Authority, SIGA, Ambassador Edward Boateng, I don't think that he's not in touch with the reality. Given Nsembia Okokaye he was given a report on a state agency. That particular event, I dove my heart for his outfit. How they are putting those state agencies in check. But in your career, I may feel say that was not the focus of Ejuma Okodi was to talk about the economy. Sammy, for the avoidance of doubt, let me quote a little. I feel very sorry when I hear everybody talking about the finance minister and pushing him as if he spent the money on his family. Sammy, I was so disappointed when I read this and subsequently in some bulletins, meeting a voice. Why? Nobody has said, sir, he spent the money on the family. The call for him to go it has to do with what? His poor performance. That is what we are talking about. He has mismanaged the economy. That is what we are talking about. And so if you want to defend him, I mean, you are entitled to it. But don't insult the intelligence of Ghanaians. Why? Obika says Sikano, or the command Ebushan for, and now or Chichaman Ebushan for. No. We are talking about his poor performance. Say, and number two, how is not even one OP room for advice, sound advice, counseling in as for contributions from people who know it all, who have done it, who have managed the economy before. He won't listen to them. So he's managing this economy into the abyss. That is what we are talking about. So if you, today, you are defending him, I mean, you are entitled to do so. But don't insult the intelligence of Ghanaians. In fact, Ambassador Edward Boateng is the boss for SIGA. I have enormous respect for him. But this morning, I mean, wherever he is and those who are listening, to tell him, I'm so disappointed in him and he shouldn't repeat this. He shouldn't repeat this. Is he in Ghana? Do you know the untold hardship that Ghanaians are going through, where people are finding it difficult to put body and soul together? Michiano, but he shouldn't repeat this again. Because, or repeat here, I am say, we have elected ourselves to fight for to be the voice for the voiceless, fight for the ordinary Ghanaian, and Ghanaian, our constituents. So at every point in time, we don't care who is us is God. We must do everything humanly possible. Say me naine manya baby amewono. We should give the same equal opportunity to somebody in Jachi or Pramso or baby. And so, as the boss, you can defend him. You are doing a good job at SIGA since you took over. But the comments say, I feel very sorry when I hear everybody talking about the finance minister and pushing him as if he spent the money on his family. It's unacceptable. Mr. Edward Boateng, don't do it again. Don't insult us. What we are saying is that the man is incompetent, super incompetent, and he must go. How will you feel? Give us your description of a minister who will not listen to the Attorney General's advice. Decided to restructure people's debt, bonds, and whatever. When you go to the Attorney General's sound legal advice, offered the ministry and the minister, it is clear. Engage relevant stake authorities before you do any such move. Because if they decide to sue you, government of Ghana cannot pay. He ignored it. Listen, the finance minister, proud to last Monday, debt exchange program now be launched here. He only responded to social media comments when people started, so they were going to do some haircut. So he came out with that video on social media. Without even informing anybody, the economic management team was not aware of what he did. Afterwards, he was trying to do the needful. They told him, why? But you have taken your decision already. So you have a finance minister who will not consult, who will not bounce ideas and policies with people. Listen, we've all been to school. Sammy, it is basic. So when you are coming out with a policy, you engage relevant stakeholders. Otherwise, the policy will fail. That is why when you drive around, you see markets. You must see markets in Krofonunkum. Was there any need assessment carried out? So stakeholder consultation. As we speak, the Attorney General's advice, sound legal advice to the Finance Minister on this debt structuring. Or say, hey, engage relevant stakeholders. Because of his intransigent position, I want to engage you. That is why today, GUTA, Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, TUC Fono, I mean, they are coming out saying, listen, dare not touch our investment. Not gratification but out. So you fail to engage them. You fail to heed to the wise counsel and a sound legal advice from the Attorney General, the constitutional mandated advisor of government. Decided to do your own thing. And when we are talking about his removal, he should go. Is it by force, like Honorable Adongo said? Is it by force that you should serve her? Is it by force? Go. We said go. We don't need you. Go. As if you are the best thing that has happened. Nobody is saying yes. You have your strength somewhere. You have your strength somewhere. But is it by force that you should save us? You are not managing this economy well. You said that we will never go to IMF again. Today we are back to IMF. So even you are not credible enough to lead such negotiation. He's not credible. Please, Ambassador, please stay off this matter. Thank you, Sami.
Yeah. Initial comments, no, the main comments, no, the main comments, 5 minutes room. Initial comments.
That autocratic tendency, you will not do it. Catch it, no. Who shall say 8? Who shall say
benevolent dictator?
Who shall say 8? My 5 minutes if I can't initial comment. Yes, I'm benevolent. Yes, indeed I am. And I probably better about tea. About tea.
Oh no,
it was by choice.
Okay. Oh, really? It was by choice.
No
problem. Oliver Khan. I say a doom crash. I say, oh, now we level on our team.
Why are you talking?
As I saw.
And now you kasa is can you chrome? Traffic and chrome. Forgot to appointing as in.
See, a media criminal. Nana Kwesi is so rest in perfect peace. Na asasi bi da. Unse oko Westco. Kumasi Westco roundabout na. Oh, there's a popular name for that roundabout. Asasi bi da ho na. Eda ho kwa.
Eda ho kwa say asasi da ho yes.
Yes.
Na ho kwa.
Na ikuhu na Kwesi na that na project bi aye na ikuhu na pese dey na ikushia na di nkomo ye bibia. The figure no baso no. I'm sure. I say, hey, namudu kuko na mode ba ha. Na fa so no asase we. Mode mom ko na mo kwadwere ho.
What are you talking about?
Later na mom anti asase wo ho. Even East Lagos go still asase wo ho bebre.
Airport class
asase wo sika ni sha. Yeah, 5 minutes. Issue a Professor touch on.
I'm sure say NDC elections and stuff will be part of the.
Yeah, it's part of the main conversation.
Okay, so first, I think your chair at T4 near Ashefo, because I saw because I bomb Paya my. Yeah, young from so I know the chair. Maybe I saw much boy, so no more trouble. So, you know, I can't hold no man in Puntu Ede, a coso. And then your chain, Somalia, and then to Quanto when I is on. But a friend say, a friend is saying the most important aspect of the whole thing, me Jidi say, as I say, Timmy share, and sometimes the way I communicate, was honestly when I met in first and I didn't want to believe it. I just assumed say Sebi will be na akabibia keke until say meti audio and I say wow. This shouldn't have come from Edward Wharton. He's too measured a person, well respected. And even if you disagree with the way a man for a canoe crana, to come out and say Ken Ofori-Atta and Fasikana and Shane Busia for an Irene and Mano. It was, I think, of course, politically, Obia goofy, and he should just take it as one of the major slips of his political life. It's a major one and a bad one as such. Of course, I mean, it happens. Sometimes it happens, and we may just forgive him, but we also need to sound a word of caution to everybody in public, especially when you are serving the public. You should just be minded by the way and manner you go about certain things. We all have friends. And this is my friend, Same is my friend, but say Same Nema Nene no enya ade a efata say it because Same wade ade na we na emfata emwa ebia adwuma na wo mu no empuntu anase nkankro. And that should be it, and we should all take it in faith, because I mean Edward Batman MPP ni mapa. Ken Ofori-Atta MPP ni mapa. Saso na mrashe badwafo no mo ho no 89 is 98 you say no. Omo ye MPP mrashe badwafo. Those who are the silent people who are behind what is happening. Omo nyina ye MPP for say nti obi nya MPP ni nche MPP ni bi. The fact is say we ye minister na nche say we ye MPP than anybody. Because we ye minister no ye ma poster say for quarter course na for quarter wonko. But obi a say bi ono nsuo kro be no man say bi obeda kra ye den no. What the man na obeko. So they are all serving the party collectively in a different way. But when the party feels, or the parties or the certain opinion say, and BBB no, it should be taken serious. It should be taken serious, and people should not just come and insult the feelings of the people. It's a bad thing that happened. And over the weekend, so Saturday, this Nigerian superstar, Whiskies, and also so Ghana for aye advert, and a Ghanaian organizers aye advert or back program. I'm a man for could thousands of Ghana cities to go. A branch and who Ghana company and organizers charter aircraft from Nigeria at the buy, charter aircraft at the do buy, and you team would be a mobile. Ubeda Kempiski Hotel, Bian Papa B, Dan Papa B na modem, Moban. BBI, all that needed to be done was done for you to come and perform. Set up Krano, or band, Krana Ede, near Kosingan, it was your band that played the whole thing. You went to the stadium, I think 5 or 7 hours before the program, just to see if everything is set. And then you never had the courtesy to even call the organizers and tell them, say, you could have even lied by saying, say, when your stomach will say, create a fake thing so that the organizers can even talk to a more audience and a more banner. But no respect for them. Why and cash and shroom? Sikana ye dema or no appearance fee no or performance fee no waji. And now we jank no our honor move at the stadium where air train was small boy. Just because who feels so a celebrity. Had no respect for the people who applaud you. And he attempted to go to Ivory Coast because he had another show yesterday. And the organizer said, Sebi, with respect to everybody, and then the incident, something happened at the airport. But the point I want to make is that, I mean, when you are paid for a project, you honor your side of the payment and respect people who you are dealing with. Because
and I pay na many social media I chanced upon the apology or the upper.
Oh, he has issued an apology.
Yes.
This time around, not blaming the organizers.
Assuring, say, he's going to have a concert organized for the people of Ghana soon. 2, he also says, say, he had raised some concerns about safety.
Safety of?
The organization of a year Adeno. And Nina Ekaho Ebi and one feature. And as a wamba that did you know. So and Ghana form function.
I am privy to the contract signed. I'm privy to a lot of things happened. You see, he is just supposed to apologize to us He's just supposed to say, I'm sorry.
He said that.
And not to go further, to justify your friend saying,
actions,
his non-appearance. Because you see, when you sign a contract, especially with this performance thing, everything that you, the artist, want to see, you put it in the contract form, so that if Andy doesn't provide or see to it, then you can walk away. Jiska over $300,000. Over $300,000.
Wow.
And then you come and tell us the.
You
should just keep quiet. You should just keep quiet.
Is it?
I followed. Maybe the mechanic said $300,000. Like,
no, that's another. I just don't want to mention the figure.
It's privy to a whole lot of information.
But she just keep quiet.
Say, you see, when you go and bring artists to come here and disrespect all of us, that is the way. Don't we have any other artists?
Oh, and
no, Ghana.
Andy, an act is an act.
An act is
Obia, engineer Fati
see it.
One of my favorite reggae artists ever. Busy Signal.
But the fact is that
Busy Signal is coming to town.
Is it Andy?
And the second of also for Nigeria.
Andy, and no, a pure business decision.
Yes,
no problem.
So me a friend say, of course, unfortunately, he doesn't sing these days, and I'm disappointed. If Obrafo, of all the guys in Ghana, the generation, for me, or only Lord Kenya were my preference.
Yes.
And of course, recently, Sarkodie, of course, you see, Enyom is supposed to communicate something. And you know, Sarkodie told you, ma, what tinyansa a womb, what a futua a womb. So I'm quite club, I quite insano. No, besides, a sans and out on, what the insanistica cement, a pan and yepe. This time, I say a blog with 5 inches solid is about.
Obrafo wasn't working.
Both on the side anyway, you know. We saw Omoto na Utinyan side womb, Utia Sama all cultural. So if I me feel this, I made Sarkodie, then headline sponsor. And as I'm for Jay-Z, and I'm for your friend say Chris Brown. So long as I'll get the money I'm looking for. And it's a pure business the industry players understand.
Okay, see, and more my baby, I ain't now I'm in no because artists don't go. Oh, guy.
No. Say me consultant on those things. Me consultant in Halifax. What should I say?
Anyway, Ken Ofori-Atta. I find the saying depth restructuring, motion, essential motion, and the whole sense. Andy. We know time you are finding in 5 in the industry. 5 minutes. I
remember that. Say, yeah, and on Sunday, very late last week. That was last week, and on social media. I went to some portals and I said, announcing some debt restructuring. That is the debt exchange program. Investors, some category will be affected. That was the explanation. Subsequently, he followed with a presser to, as it were, launch the policy. So I mean, when I spoke to some few people in the industry to get the understanding of his announcement and the planned program now because almost say no haircut. The professor be a or explanation say any policy or program I a bit dislocated the original investment or position of an investor. The street word no a haircut. Because Nippon investment will not be the same. Something has happened to it. And so, where relevant stakeholders consulted, then you call further. Some of us did some checks, intercepted some documents, and a long sound legal advice from the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Godfred Yeboah-Dame. Massa, we're explaining issues. The last one, that is options. And I can say, The first three, no, if you want to go to Parliament to pass an executive instrument declaring some state of emergency, which will give you that power to do such a thing without consulting and engaging the relevant stakeholders, no, it won't work. So the fourth one is what? Engagement. Engage relevant stakeholders. When you say an association like NAGRAT, NAT, GUTA, Ghana Medical Association, they're fine. Ghana Registers, Nurses, blah blah blah. Omu members can no more invest the pension fund in ASEFO. And so, I mean, engage them. One year, you decided to run the economy. If I'm permitted to use that term, say, on social media, responding to social media, we said there will be some haircut. That was the Sunday.
Oh, but why do you make it look like the concerns of social media is not heavy enough to warrant?
No, it's heavy. It's heavy. But if it is heavy, that is why you need to take your time, think. Even if, I mean, you could just come out with a statement that your attention has been drawn to A, B, Y, Z, but I mean, government will speak to the issues at the appropriate time. By then, when you saw Baba Yeweya, why don't I want to engage relevant stakeholders? Attorney General, which from Attorney General, 11th of November, and all the response now. So from that time, no, the whole of November, no, let's all put it in. So, let's start engaging these fund people, managers, and so forth. You didn't do that because you have no respect for Ghanaians. You have no respect for us. And so when we are talking about how you are super incompetent and you should go, and somebody says that, I mean, we are pushing you as if you are spending the money on your family. And that's why I will not accept. I won't take this lightly.
So what can we?
You understand? It was part of
the
So, his decision to ignore a sound legal advice from the Attorney General in engaging these relevant stakeholders. Listen, you have no business being opposed. You have no respect for your colleague minister. You wrote to him for an advice. What offer, what mount the best option. I say, yet, if I'm permitted, perhaps he has become a dead goat. You understand? Because he's frustrated. Listen, Sammy, what we are talking about is about the economy. Ken Ofori-Atta. Yes, he may have some strength somewhere. And we all know that he's an investment banker or whatever. But when we are talking about fiscal policies that will benefit the people of this country, listen, you've shown that you are not up to the tax. You are not up to the tax. So go for somebody to come. We need somebody with fresh ideas. Nomra na unfunny policies in Betuja. Because listen, Ken Ofori-Atta, the machinations and Niyama Ekoso behind the scene for our person will stay on. And that is why respectfully, I think that I will treat the 98 battalion, MPP battalion MPs, no one
was working out, no.
Massa, whether I'm working out or may say some they have an agreement. They've reached an agreement with the president, and so that one. When you're talking about them working out, listen. Parliament works on a whip system. Yow, what report to a parliament? You know, if you want to speak your mind, don't go to parliament. Oh. Yes, that is why I will not go there, because I must express my views freely, because it's a whip system. They will whip you. Oh, Master, we know about you. If you don't do it, you become a renegade, and your own people will not like you. You become an outcast. You can't speak your mind. If you have conscience, when you get there, no, it won't happen. So, under that circumstance, why? It's a whip system.
But
listen. Sir, as MPP, MPs in our power, and now MPP, MPs, this are essential motion against an NDC MP.
they will do same. I know them, politics, this MPP, NDC, they will do same. Parliament, we know. It's a hip system for that. For me, I have no problem with that. But I am holding them to their word. Sir, they have an agreement, they have reached an agreement with the president, and that, yes, one read the budget, IMF negotiation. I think by tomorrow, hopefully, Ghana will reach some agreement with IMF. After that, it should go.
All right.
And they should make sure, they should push him, they should make sure, if they want Ghanaians to take them serious, listen, they should just stick to the agreement, they should be resolute, they should be resilient, and make sure so occur. But me message to you, Ken Ofori-Atta, and say, his services are not indispensable. He's not the first person to have been the finance minister. We know, we've seen people, how people blend the political economy with decision with economic decision. We know under a particular president, may so rest in perfect peace. Listen, single digit inflation, massa, historic. Yeah, number. So you see, here, President Mills, if you are made a minister today, you are not the first and you will not be the last. When you are confronted with issues in managing your office, there is nothing wrong consulting people and getting ideas. Sammy, sometimes I call you, you talk to a dream, who can say suggestion like all Namefa. No, I mean, but it is good to consult. So you have a pool of ideas you pick from that will help the situation.
All right.
You are Ken Ofori-Atta. What I'm saying is that, listen, Ghanaians are suffering. Listen, they are struggling to put body and soul together. So go.
Okay.
It's not force.
Okay. All right. Na because you're also the meeting can 5 minutes because one can 8 minutes. Maybe you also 8 minutes in the mouth. Na afi ya twaso. Tienani ho. And you're welcome back to the Happy Morning Show. Yeah, my main follow a friend saying 8 minutes, on a finance minister, debt restructuring, essential motion, and your sense.
Of course, with regard to the censor motion, we all had a debate in Parliament. The committee report, of course, the committee did not indict Ken Ofori-Atta, so why Bonibia. So as far as friends said, the allegations by the minority, a concern, and a restructuring of your debt in Myanmar. The worrying thing, and it appears to be Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta's headache or issue, which he must take a proper introspection and ask himself some questions. Because you see, one, he must respect his colleague ministers. He must give them respect and work with them. Because we are finance minister, now maybe a minister for a friend, another ministry. I first and foremost don't need to book an appointment with you. First, I also do not. I must, if I have to speak, I don't speak to you through your aide. No, colleague ministers. And if I have to call you before our own fact, you won't pick up. So you have to speak to you through your aide.
Is that what's pertaining?
So these are the things that because I mean, if Attorney General will give an advice,
yes,
and you disregard that advice, say you or mine boka and I will make a decision now. And as a chroma say, some why na yaka say what acting on behalf of the nation or mine boka na yaka say any panel in a bush and phone and no. Why has it? It doesn't happen. Until any decision be make it biano, I want implications on Ghana no. Sebio, you need to think twice, and you need to do proper consultation. You need to listen to advice. And there were ministers for various sectors, and that's why we have cabinet, so that decisions of a cabinet becomes a decision of government.
Yeah.
A decision of parliament becomes a decision of parliament.
The rules are complementary.
Yes, just say either. I remember when the health insurance bill was being discussed. At the time of voting, Abambabi was a minority leader. He led the minority out of parliament. They walked out. When the National Reconciliation Bill was also being discussed, and when the decision had to be taken, Babi was a minority leader. the late Kobnaje and others, after that argument and everything, when they knew that they were going to lose the vote, they walked out. But in the end, health insurance, can anybody in Ghana say it was a bad decision? But the NDC at that time felt that certain things, as far as the bill for that was concerned, ain't right. And so once their views were not incorporated, they thought that it wasn't necessary for them to be part of it. But it didn't mean, say, a decision of MPP majority at that time. No, it was a parliament decision. Abano, if the economy is going bad, they are blaming the government. And Ken Ofori-Atta is not the government. He's one of them.
They're all part of government.
They're all part of government. So they need to have consultation with your colleague ministers. It's as important as the decision that you are making. Engage, listen. Because it cannot be said, okay, this is me. Even if you are running a private institution, organization, much as you will still have your influence and everything, you still consult people on the decision that you are making. Because in the end, Ajuma security who minister Ajuma nipa you can't do it. That's not your work.
Strength and specialized.
Everybody has a certain capacity. So let's respect the capacity of everybody and then we work together as a nation. But if you are going to behave to say we are all in war, enya idea a boa mpuntu, enya idea e ma nkan kokoso. Share your friend say you not for Ababekasa. Pensioners are talking. Everybody is talking about this decision to do the debt restructure. And we all know say if this decision is going to happen, snake, pensioners and all of those things will be affected. So what level of consultation and a course? Because look, much as everybody has a preference, it still doesn't mean that which affect the collective should be overlooked. No. And that's why, people are not happy with the comment made by Siga Boss. It's affect the collective. And don't annoy people. Don't annoy people with the comment that you are making. Ken Ofori-Atta, nobody, his capacity is not the issue. No. I mean, who doesn't know how he started Data Bank? But if you are talking about respectful, resourceful organizations in Ghana, Data Bank, not just in Ghana, in Africa, given the role that they have played in securing bonds and all those things, a major resourceful institution for Ghana, and everybody will credit that with Ken Ofori-Atta and Togo Afed, because they were the brain behind Data Bank. So his capacity as a manager, his capacity as a finance person is not the subject of discussion. But what is letting him down, really, since he became a minister, is the fact that it appears he's not consulting or he's not in the same bed with his colleague ministers. That he should look at. That is, if there will be time for him, if he has enough time, because what happened under the your friend said the first amendment, which is the 88 or so people, the 80 MPs, it was agreed, probably written or unwritten, that he should be allowed to do the budget presentation, allowed to ensure appropriation passed, and then the IMF discussion or done. From what has happened, the budget has been presented, budget approved, appropriation to be approved, hopefully before the end of this week. And then the IMF discussion and everything, hopefully ending this week. So effectively, so you can say, period when I am now it is here with him.
But what will happen if the president reneges?
Well, that will be a major crisis in the party. Because already, of course, what is happening now, as an outside observer, is a battle of egos. Probably the president will feel that, look, I'm the president. I have the decision. I have to make the decision. So you cannot impose the decision on me. And then they're also saying that, well, you can choose not to sack him. You can choose not to do what we are asking you to do. But don't forget that you can also make decisions at your level as a president, and that the decision will come to us. And so if we also decide not to pass your decision or support your bills, support your decisions, then becomes your presidency. So where we are now is the president is caught between a rock and a hard place. He will have to make a choice. And like I said to you the other time, the information we are picking is that the first week of January, Ken Ofori-Atta will resign. That's what we are picking.
You should do it.
And then there will be a major or a comprehensive overhaul or a major reshuffle. These are the two things.
Long overdue.
Of course, long overdue. Like President Mahama said, the reshuffle really is not to. It's just to let the ministers know. Say, look, you should up your game. And sometimes, as a leader, you need to ask yourself, say, as soon as see, oh, who should keep Bibia? They up.
Yeah.
They sit up.
Yeah.
And so you can't, you know, and if you observed, of course, I always say that in Ghana, the economy does not react probably with the speed that the other Western economies will do. If you remember, when the only time the economy reacted speedily was when the president endorsed his ministers in that Tamale interview, where he said that he doesn't see the need for reshuffle and stuff. At the time he was making that comment, the city was around 8 to 9, and then the city got angry with that comment and went to 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And the Bank of Ghana said, no, this cannot continue. Because per the projection that they had made, the city was not going to go beyond 12 by the end of, in fact, per all the projection, they are expecting the city to be around 15 around 2024. But for it to take 2 weeks to reach 15, and was just in reaction to the comment to the effect that the ministers are performing, when people felt that there should be some form of changes within, not necessarily even sacking them, but saying that, look, you are at a great, I think you want to become president. You are seriously campaigning. So let me give you a chance to go and campaign. And so you can say that, okay, all ministers who are campaigning, President Kufuor sacked Osafo Mafo, who was a major player in MPP winning 2000. He sacked KK Apreku, a major force, and he sacked his chief strategist, Damboche. At a point in time, a leader makes a decision.
Is that why President Kufuor has been speaking of late?
Of course, he's 84 years. And
there's nothing to
he's seen it all.
He's seen it all. I mean, really, what I mean to say, your friend is saying, and the young friend say, Obi kura $1 million at the Obi account now all the 2,000. Who bet me the bonus? Really, I mean, what does he need again? The Constitution says that he should be paid until the time Obi. So if Nana Akufo-Addo's pay is $1 million, Kufuor's pay will be $1 million. Just like a governor of Bank of Ghana, you also retire on your salary. So let me hit English small. I was a bit disappointed somewhere when Dr. Adufo was the finance minister and he tells people that he's not being paid. And so I said, Abadok, you retired on your salary as a governor of Bank of Ghana. And at that time, how much Aqua was being paid was the same thing you'll be paid.
No, but the point is that why you don't take double salary? You know it's against the laws of this country.
It's against the laws of...
but you wait, maybe a no.
Now, why? But the who said he had no option over there. As a finance minister at that time, because per the laws of Ghana, he was a retired governor of Bank of Ghana. And so per the laws, he retires on that. And his options were limited. Unlike the MPs and ministers who were taking MP and taking minister.
At the same time.
And as a nation, as we speak now, so it's kind of more dinuka. But anyway, you mean, this nation.
12 minutes. 12 minutes, you know. Mama Mamu 3-3. Let me see me for Mutu, I'm final touches. Don't bring yourself that you're obedient. Are you obedient? The NDC youth and then women organizer results. Hanabisu and Pablo.
Sammy? Yeah, Mr. NDC delegates have spoken. They did the needful, not allowing money to influence them. The reports are and information some of us were privy to prior to the last Saturday's conference.
Yeah.
I do my heart for them. Say, Woma I elected Nkrofo a omunim say edwuma no betimi aye. There was a subtle endorsement of even the minority in parliament regarding Pablo. When Yura Haruna Idrisu Ebabe Kasaye said Pablo, since assumption of office as the youth leader of the party, has been able to bridge that yawning gap between the foot soldiers, the youth, and leadership. And on countless occasions, we organizing events or much here just to interact. That was not resistance. Odiaba, such a leader, you have no option than to retain him to continue with his policy and programs. Number two, when I also read, called behind the scene, did some checks from these team coordinators. How do you judge Pablo? Oh, yes, Massa. He's made the party attractive and he's been having regular interactions with us. And so this is the man we want. So you see, you were saying something this morning when you had a discussion with Fatih and Co that it seems that assistant people, Omanya the endorsement. Sami, though we all decry the over monetization of your body politics. That is why I have told you at our private engagements, say me nkoma obi ankoto fan nkoma obi na free say masa me nkoto aba me I don't do it. But you say utie yewura alesegbe fianso nsambia okeka ye say omaka chiro mu sika ni na
campaign of
delegates no blah blah. But yes, still you bet me akase ankoso. Yes. I only want to say, sir, if Obi feel say sika, Obi the sika beto Ghana for Adrian. If I'm right, since I about this current dispensation, Ghanaians, the electorates, they've become so awakened to the reality why they should vote for Samir Shen. I mean, it's about your capacity, it's about merit, not mediocrity. I mean, they've decided not to sacrifice, competence for mediocrity. That was what happened, irrespective of the powerful forces behind those who contested Pablo and Massa. Omufeli. Dr. Hannah Bisu, Obia won the SSS, yes, but as the woman organizer, in Crawford Field said, why Juma? So she was retained. I congratulations to all of them, and this is just a precursor to what will be happening come Saturday, where the Accra Sports Stadium, when the party converged to hold their national delegate congress, the 10th. Listen, I have my own issues with Yura Samuel Ofoswampofo, given his leadership, how he's not briefing life into Article 25(3) of the party constitution. But anytime, any day, I will support him. Today, Ambassador Victor Smith, Abba out, clear. Sir, you Russia don't get here. I'm promising a day running mate. Oh, I say you Mahama promising a running mate. And I want farmer. Okay, no.
Kasiso.
Meba running mate now man farmer no. Reliably, the general secretary of the party is supposed to lead the campaign. Busase at the time 2020, amuye campaign no. Platform ban so na hu yewura sedun ketiane jenana. Professor. Okotiani constituency so your campaign. He got angry because he had told people that Oma promising Yewura Mahama promising a running mate.
And I said, if that account is anything to go by,
so
then the former president, if indeed he did promise him, he should have kept his word.
Oh, Massa. Now, I said dunketia, or promise it. Kwadua said dunketia. Johnson Kwadua said or promise Akoku Anido catch no say Massa me kobium so you go. Akoku announce no so about the contest. It was because of this promise and they got him to contest Koku Anido.
But if I'm
that
still,
is the point.
If I'm still working,
so
if I'm working with,
yeah. Onoani jejereje obahu ni smoothness level come Saturday. Yewura Fosuampofo will be retained as the national chairman of the great NDC. I'm telling you.
But if you are talking about people going against the establishment in Pablo any events and Hana Bishu the year. Sane bisi because from all indications you are trying to suggest to me that the establishment is going for a certain candidate. Anayao, is that not what you are getting? The establishment is going for a certain candidate.
No. Let me tell you. Even regarding the national chairmanship position, I am telling you reliably, the Mahama camp is divided. Ebimu supporting Yewura Fosuampofo and some are supporting Johnson Asedun Ketia. Yes, I'm telling you reliably. We know.
Okay.
So, but my point is that we wish the party a successful Congress. Let me say there were some disturbing we say be Nyema yehu ye no. Let me say democracy.
No, my young so kasa because time na so you.
You do actually say I'm party mo asem. Say dem fa no.
Yeah, the party mo asem.
Yeah, can be.
But who are you host? So you don't ask me. You have to decide. What's at the time?
I'm a benevolent host.
No. But this is
I'm
not.
a benevolent dictator, as you always say.
So yeah, you in the TSA. And now I can't how many minutes? I can't 5 minutes.
I can't 5 minutes. Oh, mama.
Yao is certainly in touch with the reality concerning this country.
Yao, mommy from out. Count 3 minutes now.
I think that, and it is natural that people will use names to campaign. Because social youth conference and a man there now. And those who say Mahama's candidate was Magono, they won't be wrong because almost all elements are pro Mahama boys and girls. They were all rooting for Mago.
Yeah.
On social media, on all platforms. And so it was right for people to say and they were going to go for Mago instead of going to go for a friend Bono Kadibi. Yeah. But I knew. So there's one thing that the party people do. When the party people have a feeling, say, nipa na omo any dano so no, and as omo pen no, tries to impose people on them, it gets them angry. And this has always been the trend from 1992 ABC Sabri, almost all the NDC and MPP. Yeah. And so when the party is in government, you always see say, the party people feel that and we must so a party for and as a government. Exactly. And so that's exactly what happened. Broja Jemfi, Obianim said Sami Jemfi a strong Mahama allied. Obianim said Harry Soya and Bano or a strong Mahama allied. Obianim.
They've assumed that
these were elements. These were elements. I know Omu spearheaded the campaign for Mago and then Broja Jemfi. Yeah. And so the party youth organizers further no. Much as we want President Mahama, assumingly, we also think that your friends say for the youth organizer and the women organizer, it is not what he wants. That's what we want. We want other people, and they went for their preference. And so you can say that this was a genuine contest because much as many and others will take place and it's natural, and so people should not be making noise about, for instance, in Tokwane say, I mean, the contest, the party in a year election in Ghana are sebi party supporters at all levels. It happens across.
Madam,
but Saturday, what do you expect? Because me just say back Saturday about.
Yeah, young Kasan said. But I said honestly, if you ask me, may a bias because, and as I'm caught between the two. For example, I like his way of doing things. I say don't get here. He has served the party. On I say don't get here. Party leaders. 2005 Kofodia, I was there. I say don't get here. As a general secretary of the party, is the chief executive. So if the NDC is functioning well in terms of direction, in terms of resources, we will credit Asiedu Nketia. Well, certainly he is in charge, day-to-day run of the party. Is the party doing well? If the party is not the party is not doing well because party at NDC are more over 1 million people. I'll bet you I can sank for we will be enter 1 Ghana city every month. the party going for conference is asking and party for na kase ekomodi omo omani mo ayeden no. The party is asking Sankrofona say they should give them money to go and organize their conference. It tells you that the leadership of the party has failed. Means that they have failed to come out with any particular vision to transform the party and to make the party resourceful, so that the party will not depend on individuals to manipulate the affairs of the party. Who will win? Who will lose? I wish one of them will win. Certainly, it's a battle between Asiedu Nketia and Ofusu-Ampofo. But I see Ofusu-Ampofo ahead. Not a prophecy.
So I mean, even where near Messi, no one say I started the youth elections and I started a cost war the National Delegate Congress, no, and no one so back caught the presidential primaries, and I'm telling you there'll be some major surprise with presidential primaries. Yeah.
Yo, Professor Boyrim, Medoasi, and pay say Odu feeding at Happy 98.9 FM and ATV Ghana. Nisim 95.9, 100.1. Edwasi so sharing. Me pochna e beto anko matwetwe eso. Ensem de bebre. Build up to a NDC Congress no. Ye de ho nsem nyina April. I will happy and ATV Ghana. Good morning.